Right now, the fate of two local high school students is in jeopardy. They were caught with knives on campus and they could be expelled.
10 News reporter Rachel Bianco is live in Escondido, where that hearing is still underway for one of those students. Rachel.
Stephen, Kimberly, the hearing for the older student was held in this building right here. It wrapped up just a few minutes ago. No decision made. The student and his attorney only saying that they are feeling confident. All of this started because both kids had Advil in their parents' car on school grounds, and as we've been saying, now they could possibly be kicked out of school.
1, 2, 3, say Sam!
Classmates cheered as Sam Serrato, his parents, and attorneys walked into the hearing. Nearly 4 hours later, they came out feeling confident.
It's been pretty stressful, but I'm glad it's coming to an end soon, hopefully.
Stress that started 2 weeks ago when the San Pasqual High School acting principal suspended him. Drug-sniffing dogs picked up Advil in his dad's SUV. School security found a pocket knife in the center console. Sam says his dad uses the knife for hunting and fishing. He forgot it was there, but police say he told them it was for protection.
That was a misunderstanding, and I think in hindsight he understands why his words were misconstrued, but the fact of the matter is he didn't know the knife was in the car.
The other student, Brandon Capoletti, is also facing possible expulsion. School officials also found knives in his truck. He says they were left over from a family fishing trip. Capoletti is planning to join the Marines after graduation.
He's excited to serve our country, and again, unfortunate he had stuff in his car that he was fishing the weekend before, and he's not a threat in any way too. He's going to protect us from the people eventually here in a few months. And
now that panel has 3 school days to make a decision. If it decides that the kids should be expelled, the final say will come from the school district, and it's expected to have a meeting on Tuesday. We're reporting live in Escondido. Rachel Bianco, 10 News.
Rachel, thank you. And here to answer some of our questions about what's happening in Escondido right now is attorney Vic Bajaj. Thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And let's start with the zero tolerance policy at the school. Explain, is that always a one-size-fits-all?
That's exactly what it is. Zero tolerance takes away all the discretion between the decision maker and the person who's the subject of the action. In this particular case, let's talk about that at issue. The school district and the school board will say, well, did these students have possession of these weapons? If the answer is yes, zero tolerance says there's no discretion. They have to be expelled.
What about outs? Legally?
Great question, and there is something called knowledge. We have to not only have the mens rea, which means we have to know we're doing something illegal or prohibited, but you also have to have the act. So the act is the possession of the knives in the vehicles. So by a constructive possession theory, the school district and the school board can say they constructively possess the items. Now the question will be, did they know the items were in the vehicles? Mm-hmm. Both kids' parents have come on record at the school board hearing, and the citizenry time to voice their opinions with the school board, and said unequivocally that they, the parents, were the ones who accidentally left the fishing knives or the recreational knives, 3 in one vehicle, 1 in the other. So an out could be, if they wanted to avoid the public turmoil of zero tolerance and the deficits that come with that theory, to come to a conclusion that these students did not know the prohibited items were in the vehicles.
So if they think they didn't know, how effective? There's been so much support for these kids and their coaches coming out and saying he's an honor student in the case of the second one, that Serrato,
yes,
who had his hearing today. Honor student, 3 athlete, sport athlete, that he's getting a scholarship, he's going to college, can't get it without it. The other one, this could impede his chances of getting into the Marines. Those kinds of things, once you get knowledge as an escape hatch, how much can that play a part?
Oh, a huge part. And you have to understand, zero tolerance really has its genesis in the 1980s. Okay, with Bush Sr. was really the zero tolerance, let's take crime out of school campuses. Well, the problem with zero tolerance, which is essentially mandatory punishments, which we've seen the federal government erase on the criminal punishment side, is that there's no room for case-by-case analysis. And these kids are perhaps best positioned over any other students to raise this type of an issue. They all have clean records, they've not violated the laws or the regulations within the school district, so they're best positioned to highlight the inequities with the real institution of zero tolerance policies in our schools.
And we can see where the district's in a difficult place. Don't have time to answer this one, but precedent could be set here. If you get a bad kid who comes in and does this, then they're in a sticky situation. So.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
All right, Vic Bajaj, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And according to the California Department of Education, there were a total of 724 students in San Diego County suspended for possessing a weapon in the 2014-15 school year. 78 of those cases resulted in expulsion.